AG that took it despite it being XLG's pick. I may be
chat, we might need to resync the sound, so we'll see.
I believe that was correct.
We've got FPX on defense, we've got Wolves on attack.
Wolves starting out here on the attacking side, wanting to make the most of this raise and the Yoru, but Autumn starting out with
that looks pretty good.
This is going to be a fight relatively early here.
Everyone just happy. I really like the space control there. I really even respect the no fear on the Sova dart. Absolutely happy just to sit on that angle.
FPX decide to fight middle heavy.
Aggressive hold. We've seen Berlin try to get
the
it.
problem is the smoke just went over towards middle.
Cleared him out. There are paint shells to try and fight him through. The amount of utility, the amount of information just being thrown down on this mid. Finally a frag going each way, though the smoke's still up towards that mid.
This is crazy. In reaction, we heavy push over towards B, heavy push over towards A once they realize they're fighting with everyone.
Yosemite getting a little bit antsy, wanting to try to get the space. He gets the angle, but he doesn't quite get the shot. And now the double swing from
sleeping. He messed it up, but dude, look at how fast the Sova is behind.
Yeah, Yosemite a little bit over eager there, just threw
Cypher down, no trips as well.
Control. Maybe a little bit early, but still the spike should go down. But a quick wrap here coming out from Ayang, looking incredibly strong. As long as he can stay unnoted, that's all this counts to.
Big Joe coming up.
That's all it ever counts to. We're seeing the double swing come through. It's a beautiful first pick from Autumn with the backup of Berlin. Meanwhile, towards that backside, A is now getting crunched upon by 3 different members, and it's that man himself, Suifat BB, who we've already mentioned being
Did imagine he put no bounce on that and just takes out his teammate.
Getting the shots down.
That was a great reposition from Autumn though. Yeah, that was nice. Both showed over towards here, then repositioned.
Able to get the angle, he finds himself the frag and gets the defuse pretty damn comfortably.
Yeah, a very nice retake there. You can see, although they weren't exactly in the best of positions, they still had that little bit of an advantage, and the wrap coming around was
Masters Toronto one of the best?
Great awareness as well from Ayang.
Events?
Flip around.
The playoffs was really good.
Coming out of main
I didn't think groups was that good, to be honest. But I think playoffs was really good. Might be one of the best playoffs we've ever had.
Very excited, getting in, getting hype for this game.
FPX is sending it.
Now on the defense, they're going to be able to make the most of these better weapons. They've got the Outlaw as well. 1 tap to the body for everyone on Wolves. Only classics, not even... Oh, no, okay. No frenzies, never mind. That would be way too exciting.
Okay, everyone can one shot.
That would be too hype. Again, both teams are still absolutely 1 FPX. A hell of a good start taking that pistol round. That's the momentum.
Sabina, thanks so much for the 26 months. Thank you.
Pick, so you would
I don't think I have the rights for that. And it's tonight, right? I have so much work to do.
That commit
I'm not sure I can do it.
We've seen was very much wanting to keep the pace started fast, and maybe we'll see that continue onwards this time, though. As you said, with the Outlaws and the better buy coming from FPX on the defense side, you essentially have life on the operator, and if there's one person you do not want on the
disrespects the smoke with the smoke deep. I mean, Life's just instantly cleared the pressure over towards it. They can keep this 3-person stack.
Should be taking this first contact as we're looking for a split towards market, but beautiful headshots there, and retreats shock darts and goes back into the smoke. We'll see a fight for sight here.
Yeah, here we go. Meanwhile, the paint shells come through on that B main. It's Autumn sitting there just waiting. So if that BB just kind of fidgeting, jittering, waiting for the double swing, the market control as well. But Autumn causes the fall of Wolves. Yosemite bringing down another, and it's just all there for
do they actually lose a gun because of it? They do lose a gun because of it. The Autumn's too far away.
Done dreams beforehand, but unfortunately that's just a bit more.
Wait, was he just like, throw me a gun?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he was like, throw me a gun, man. And he was out here celebrating.
Like you say, it can be a dream.
I wonder if they picked it up.
I'm sure we can all remember with jumping right clicks over the boxes.
It's a free gun. It's a free gun. It's a free gun.
But beautiful work here from FPX to keep their distance, take advantage of the fact they've got these better guns, and just not risk too much. A little bit of risk, but you know, you've got a good buy. You save hopefully all of those guns as long as that last one was picked up. Yeah, it looks like it was, and it's just
you might have actually got it
immediately. The Euro TP used. Only 1 more of them for this round.
One thing I want
to surely we can show the money as well.
Depending on how
can we not show the money here as well? Is that really too much information?
We were actually mentioning
to have money here.
That having a character that can rotate kind of without teleports, and we've seen how fast FPX's rotates have been. Yoru is very much at the moment just
Oh, that's a nice recon, dude. I didn't realize that could go like all the way over the top.
That's not the case though this time, as Juicy and co try and get it through. Despite the wall hacks, the bullet tracers are enough to find the smoke. The Yoru clone's now coming out and actually still manages to get the flash on towards Yosemite. The trades all coming through. The positioning very much working out for Wolves, and they look confident to take their first round, which we would hopefully expect from them.
Yeah, obviously this was the buy-up for them, but this is going to be almost an impossible retake to come in. FPX, they do have that paranoia. They've got the dash, so they can look to try and make an entry past Lysol here.
About damage.
Then once they get to site, they've got 3 more ready and waiting. So exits might be the plan. Bullin holding up
nice has a TP, man.
Take this peek into Lysol. The trade should come through from Juicy.
Show us the madness.
As you said, you wanted to talk about exits. Life is sitting there with the Outlaw. Berlin falls, but meanwhile, again, Sufat BB has just always had this awareness to find it, and Life very nearly getting that quick flick, but this time now, the aura being farmed, the crowd being played, and we mentioned it before, the minute Wolves get that confidence, they get that momentum, FPX have had a good start, but Wolves may very easily just start running away with a single round, which sounds super, you know, early to call it, but I think we've seen it before.
Yeah, we've seen it many times before, and you know, the way that they are peaking this, they lost the first 2 rounds, but they're still confident here. And I mean, Sufat Baby, like, reminds me a lot of
Oh, damn, he's adding actions in now with his stand-up.
At Champs. The way that he has such an awareness of
timing
is because he takes some absurd ones himself is incredible. But this is going to be an early fight as the swing, the flash come on in.
How is it? Wait, my sound's messed up. I need to change it.
Takes down 2 and immediately calls the team over to come.
Does it sound too early or too late, chat?
Looking very weak. It's just Autumn here.
Now we get to see the capacity why that high skill ceiling does. Autumn swing in. It
late,
looks
right?
like it's going to go his way. He's only going to go for 1 and then get the TP out. The neural theft comes through to give all the information possible, but still seems to be going the way, despite the fact FPX can be seen through those walls. Their bullets are coming out just slightly faster, and now with no real information anymore, FPX have repositioned perfectly to try and take these fights and these reswings for the A site.
Yeah, it's going to be very tricky now, but you can see Wolves, they're just waiting, pausing, playing patient, putting a little bit of doubt into FPX's mind, but Lysol was spotted, so they know that Sufat Baby is going to be here as well. Ayang holding this angle, going for the spray, but it can't work out. Lysol actually gets a pick onto Autumn. It's a 2 versus 2. This is possible. They're running over to the B site.
Oh, dude, they're actually going to win this round, aren't they?
He is trying to find it. The step is
I mean, he's got a free sight here. Camera.
Lysor, phenomenal work, actually. Really nice on the delay. The gun timing, the shots just not quite hitting their mark. But now, Sufat BB got quite a bit of space to work with. That Cypher utility, though, this is why you pick this man, because even all the way over towards that A site, you've still got the cam. He is being scanned more times than he could possibly think. Yosemite and A dropping down to deliver a very, very
Dude, what is this one?
Retake and a very, very
Wait, they're all doing it
for the side of FPX.
Yeah, and you talked about all the teeth on FPX, and we're seeing the smiles from them already, right? They are building up that aura. I've got to say though, that was the rotates from FPX on that defense was so incredible. Yes, they lost out on that initial engagement, but Autumn, the discipline coming out from this Euro play is not something you see from a lot of duelist players, but allowed them to keep 3 alive, to look for those picks 1 by 1 with those rotations coming nice and quick. Yosemite obviously catching out the person running up.
Definitely got to start paying attention. This is the big round.
Ensuring they've got the right people in the right place at the right time.
It was Lysol's walkout pose. So okay.
But now we're seeing a little bit of a rough buy from Wolves, and
now they're all just doing it back to them every round they win.
Hit by the looks of it, unless we see Lysol finding something in mid, but he's only got a stinger.
Seems, yeah, pretty likely we're going to just be dealing with that B site. But again, you're walking into the Cypher setups have honestly, despite the fact B site is easier to hit, the Cypher setups have only become a bit more nightmarish. You're having to see Yuikon get the satchels down, trying to get all the space. Actually,
my goodness.
Yeah,
his teammate planning was in the only position for him to stay alive. Dude, the Cypher utility is wrecking them.
FPX. This hold could easily have ended before it starts. Lysor, another member to fall. That Cypher cam one is
They
more
might
than
have to have a
safe,
timeout.
and
That Cypher Uto's completely on them.
certainly not, and every time you see FPX get that diffuse.
Oh my god, they're holding it for so long as well.
That hand, you see the aura being farmed, and all the smiles and happiness from FPX. Wolves looking quite locked in fact, looking exactly how we've seen them in Toronto.
Yeah, they know that this isn't the time for celebrations at the moment. This is the time to focus, to work out what's going wrong, and a lot of it is just they're not getting to these post plants with enough people alive. When they get into the post, they usually have 3 people.
Okay, early timeout.
So this is the perfect
this
time
camera's wrecking them a little bit, but you might just see
coach to think and to
you might just see FPX change their stuff up
to win out from here, because
it's a lot of good cameras they can do anyway on top of this.
You are taking enough space. Since that rework on Sunset, it's not
probably as well with the numbers. I don't know how good Wolves have been staying on top of it, but there's always been like 3 over towards B at the moment, so I feel like if the coach has been writing down numbers of how many people's holding over towards B like early, they should honestly, they should maybe feel like they got to push over towards A and create pressure.
What you were saying earlier in terms of FPX's rotates.
I've been watching on the minimap, and
when they
FPX
get the
has been holding down A1 early with that
pick, they rotate from the remaining team. Does come through a little bit slow.
Do you think the Phantom or the Vandal is better statistically? I mean, the Phantom is better.
We've seen how confident
it's just the
FPX
fact
are.
The Vandal feels great with the one-shots. And I guess it's like a little bit map-dependent as well. Map/comp dependent, but
ready to take another engagement.
The Phantom
making
is
sure
just
you're not able
insane.
to get that space or that control towards Boba, towards like upper market, even towards the back of A site, close to the defender spawn. As soon as Wolves believe they've got any time to take that,
it's just the way that the game is as well. Like, look at the positionings that you're going to be throwing smokes. Like being able to spam through and have no traces is
FPX with the paranoia
great.
Beautifully played.
More bullets
and
to spam.
With the positioning absolutely flawlessly.
Like this is like one of the. I'm not saying the issues with Valorant, but this is just what the game is. Baby choke points, like really tiny choke points. So having a smoke here and spamming is just the one.
Sniffed it out. The recon bolt won't get broken.
It's just the way that the game is, and they design the maps.
So now this is all about how do FPX, what do FPX think is happening here? Do they rotate the Cypher over, or does that
the maps are pretty close as well majority of the time.
All move towards B. The smoke comes out though, so information denial, and now FPX, they're sitting waiting, but this Cypher cam is perfect to spot what's happening.
I haven't seen this one-way cage for ages.
This validates me. I hate, so I'm going to continue ranting about it. Cypher and his capabilities are absolutely rad.
So FPX change, just do switch, pretty much what we saw from the first map as well. So that time that comes in from the other team, you then put the Cypher over towards here once the team's trying to work out how to problem solve what was going on before.
Sunset is the most volatile map in the entire game. Corrode could easily take that spot once we see more of it, but for the moment, Sunset, we've seen like even things like 11 and 1s, 10 and 2s can still very quickly get swung back around just because of the capacity to play it. But right now, the capacity to play it is this push from the side of FPX. The Hunter's Fury as well, though, to shut that down. You call it the least good for one. So if BB is known, the Sheriff is finding another one, but Autumn will cause Soifat very
pretty nice for
FPX
FPX.
To fall. A decent.
I'm gonna try something, and I could completely mess the audio up here, but
you did get a few frags, and the spike has gone down, so it's not the end of the world. But
Pixel, thanks so much for the tier 1. Thank you for 13 months.
Yeah, I think that was actually really good from Wolves. They pulled out that Sova ult, which can change the game. It's the second most powerful ult in this comp because you've only really got 2 big power ults. So that ult coming out now is actually huge, and it sets Wolves up. Now they're going into a bye. They've got a good ult advantage.
Okay, another big round for Wolves.
Raise as well
before they have to eco again.
Their economy both monetarily.
What is map 2? This is Corrode. That's all you need to know.
The ultimates in a huge way, but they've still got to watch out.
What was this? Was this Bind?
Because Autumn,
yeah, it was Bind.
Has that dimensional?
Dude, I'd be fine for a third map as well, to be honest with you.
The game, and now Life has the Operator. So will this get noted? Will this get spotted? And how do Wolves react off of noticing this op?
depends if they even get to hear it.
Yeah, but it's still good from Wolves, right? They kind of learned that they needed to. I like what's going on from both teams, to be honest. FPX after the timeout put the Cypher over towards him, like change it up for that round where they're trying to problem solve, and then they go back to their original setup. Oh, it's crazy that Life didn't get one now. Yeah, I reckon he got wrecked by that flash.
You have the momentum. Please just walk onto this site and prevent FPX.
But I like that they go back to their normal Cypher setup after that one round.
So clinically these last, basically every round.
He almost got wrecked by his teammate getting hit by the recon there as well.
Here as the smoke goes down, but the retake, it will be coming any moment now. And Surfire Baby needs to keep himself safe because
Big Joe.
He's got that final thing that can
it's
help
on.
him win with that ult.
It's pretty on.
He's stuck. Him and Spring, it's a 3 versus 2, as you said.
Safe.
Pivotal ults, but FPX actually looking. You know what? We've got the economy. They do have the
Oh, they're not messing about, are they?
From Life, so there's a lot they do still have to work with next round. They
I mean, it's
that,
probably the right call.
Wolves have finally managed to get their positioning, and you know what? We'll give them it. We'll let them have it. We'll let them keep their 3 guns, and now with that, Wolves have put their second round on the board. The Sonar Dart more just to maybe throw away some information. We do actually see the lurk from mid
they overstep?
from IA is maybe not quite going to find something. No interactions are going to be had, as now we move on to the 8th round.
Yeah, and a great round. You can see the adaptations coming in from after that timeout as well.
Now they're out of the seats. Now they're celebrations.
And it's just the standard A pose. You know, what else is he going to do? And these opening picks were actually great as well. He needed to bring back
a Euro flash is incredible.
Because we saw how good he can be when he's got the confidence. But being able to swing into that op and get those kills, you can see FPX, the coaching staff, not feeling good about those adaptations coming on in. But the op is still on live again for Life. And now Autumn has one too.
And Life staying on that angle, finds Juicy, sees the barrel, gets
this is one of those things. We're gonna do the whole Jet Yoru thing. Like, I think you're
not enough to get the frag. We see
it's pretty much because you're doing it for
not respecting
the safety of someone feeling great on Jet, or the comfort of someone feeling good on Jet.
The shock dart zapping him into the afterlife as the positioning here. Again, it looks like it should favor Wolves,
retake this
but
as well
FPX
if they just stick
have
together.
This time and time again, the spike isn't down just yet. You've still got more time if you're FPX, and with that frag going through, Berlin following up as well. You've got the neural theft to wait it out.
Oh god, they nearly messed up.
Which hat was on which corpse? The from the shadows finally coming through from Spring to get the plant into this one.
Angie, thank you so much for the A-mums. Thank you.
It's just an omen off, but Berlin is already there.
Oh, he didn't think it was going to be this close.
Honestly, Berlin getting half, running over to get the op, and then going back could be the play. But besides that, if that was a scrap on site, and you can see FPX, not only do they know how to rotate,
dude, stop smiling to make sure you could do it properly
at the right times. They are spamming exactly where Wolves are through the smokes, even before the Cypher ult came through. But Life, this won them the round. That shot, seeing the barrel of the gun, yes, he does fall because he doesn't have that cloud burst anymore. But you can see just absolutely incredible play. And then Berlin getting there in time, knowing where that ultimate was going, knowing where the omen was, shutting it down.
And the coaches that don't have an assistant coach are inherently playing a harder game. I mean, yeah, you're just not going to do it. You're just not going to do well.
The economy hurts. The economy
it's too much
hurts.
It's too much to do.
Towards the mid yet again. Berlin actually just wanting to opt for the box yet again. The blade storms came through. Juicy deciding to.
I don't think there's any. Is there any teams left that only have one coach?
Just 50-50 red, then blue, then more red again.
Bro, how's this a 1v1?
Is going the way of. I say going the way of either one. It's 1 versus 1. It's gone the way of whoever
Wolves,
can
no,
land
they
this
got
next
assistant
shot.
coach and
doing phenomenal with that Sheriff. He's going to try and get himself an upgrade. He swings on that left corner.
Oh my goodness,
doesn't
bro.
get his shot. He doesn't quite land the shot.
They got assistant
right
coach
now.
and
the shot dart
analyst.
comes through the teleport. He could be anywhere. This is
they have an analyst and they had Mini helping.
It is. The recon is also not going to see him, so he's going to pick up the spike, go through the smoke, and ships in the night. But Spring has the idea. Ayang turns around at just the wrong moment.
No way, this was a wild round.
And Spring with the 4K takes the round, the thrifty for Wolves. Incredible work, and yet the aura is back.
They kind of just switch positions.
Oh my day! I had a point. I was going to say something about FPX's rotating.
Yeah,
I mean,
I just don't like the playing against
That's
Ecos.
ridiculous. That was no. I do want to actually
they
say
go so
very
aggro
quickly to
against Ecos.
Meta from the shadows by rotating to the site and essentially beating it there. That is what you want to see. Berlin's ability to play the Omen, but Spring here matching
Spring did
it.
incredible.
Maybe not quite from the shadows in terms of the ability usage, but from the shadows in terms of
lovely
map,
shots.
in terms of position.
But again, just like fighting over
towards,
like the call from FPX here is a little bit crazy.
But Wolves got to be feeling themselves now. Got the dimensional drift as well. Got the Hunter's Fury that you had mentioned. Life is back on the ultimate, but if there is one thing that counters, it is a Yoru coming from the 4th dimension with a Shorey.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that this could go, but FPX, they just want to for
Team Secret. Team Secret are the only team left that only have one coach.
Don't let
really?
Wolves know where life is.
I mean, that kind of explains a lot as well, really.
They don't have.
Is that still true?
Utility to get into space, right? They only really have the Euro ult and the drone, because the Raze, the Boombot, not in the pocket at the moment. So if they can keep life hidden, then life can late in the round appear with the op and take them down.
Submentos, thank you so much for the Prime, bro. Appreciate the whole year. Thanks for doing that.
The ult comes through and it Berlin.
TP takes the ult, little combo.
The body block for the Hunter's Fury.
Oh, dude, you gotta commit.
Frustrating thing to deal with.
No way, did the flash hit him in the most perfect time?
The judge had been spotted out as well. That is the power. That is the capacity of the dimensional drift. Trying his best.
Yeah, but he did it. He did pretty good though. You got to retake with this op.
Life now. The op not quite working out.
Yeah, life's just gonna be saving this.
Getting immediately found out by Spring, and with this Silva drone coming through, it has to get through quite a bit of fog, quite a bit of Cypher utility, but it will find its mark. They know life has the operator now, and surely Wolves
even Secret has an analyst.
Oh,
okay. Then I don't think there's any team that only has one coach these days.
If only one to try and stop this op being saved, and that he shall.
Yeah, and that is huge. Taking the operator out, you know that they can't buy it up next round. Life is going to be back on guns, potentially on the knives if he's still got them. But not only that, you're probably now pulling out the timeout from FPX. It's about time for them to sit down with their coach, work out with Legia what is going on, how they can fix it moving forward. Because they need to try and keep as many rounds as possible. Once you have such a good start,
Yanido, thanks so much for the tier 1. Appreciate the 6 months. Thank you.
And bring it back, and you can see already coming in there with ideas. 2 rounds left, probably a thrifty, probably a buy. Can they make
next map is Corrode? Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it.
No, this is when we really got to start talking about like individual players and what
Indoor Comrade as well. Thanks so much for the Prime. Thank you for doing it.
We've seen a lot of work come through from basically every member of FPX. There's one player right now that I want to point
Wolves,
out.
yeah, Wolves give me a lot of faith
and that is the Yoru player
in like comps and understanding of maps.
On Tuesday.
It's kind of why I think they've got so far in Toronto, so I'm excited to see what they play.
Yoru can so easily.
What's up, Bacan? How we doing, mate?
But
hello.
That last round very much pivoting, showing that okay.
Did I watch the EDG one? Nah.
Or he was maybe
I don't think I'll watch it, man. Someone said no Odins. It just sounds like a pointless game to watch. If you're buying no Odins, just don't understand the map.
If there is one king of the space, it is the man.
Like I imagine they're probably using loads of util over towards B, and so you can just take over an Odin.
Exactly how powerful it is from that dimensional drift alone. Meanwhile, Autumn, top of FPX's scoreboard, that 10 and 6, the ability to rotate as fast as he can. He is putting on a show with that.
No Odin, no Viper. Yeah, I think the no Viper is okay. I don't think Viper is a must. I think it helps.
So, you know,
oh boy,
the
sound is so wrecked. Hold up, chat.
And they're going to swing out into B main to try and find.
Chat, bear with me. I'll try and fix it after this.
What a headshot.
I say after this.
That might be the best shot of the series so far. That was double as well through the wall.
That was clean. We're so far away.
You'd actually been the one to mention that FPX seemed to know where Wolves' positioning were. Maybe Unicos starting to develop himself that little sixth sense.
It was Tech's map pick. They're the one that picked
to give him that positioning. Beautiful shots. Only one position.
Astro,
though.
right? Astro.
Anyone else actually even managed.
The audio is kind of weird. Yeah, I'm using.
So Wolves not as much information as they.
I'm not using this audio. That's why I need to change it.
This. Meanwhile, it's only Yosemite and a Cypher cam on this side.
Yeah, obviously Wolves, they sniffed something out, whether they only saw 1 or 2. They think, you know what, no, let's go over towards the A side, but somehow, again, they just have the exact reads. And, you know, Wolves, they're showing that actually, you know what, you can take your time out. We'll miss a satchel. We don't need it. We're still going to win the round in this post plant. It's only Sheriffs coming at them as well. 3 versus 5. The rotates are slow from FPX in this round, expecting Wolves to be pushed up. But there's nothing there. Unicorn now going hunting a little bit. Will he expect the Yoru peeking around that corner?
He does, but he's a little bit slow on the trigger pull. So if that BB equally as well, yet again though, who needs to see your opponent just
You think Harper could be Viper on Corrode? I mean, if the agent wasn't awful, then yeah, but the agent's awful.
Lysor not only gets the headshot onto Berlin, making sure he is dead, gets the double tap in. Unicorn not trying to hide behind the wall either, and now they are going hunting for that last member. The Cypher Trip now getting shot. They have the information, but the spike just beeping and beeping away. Aya makes sure he dies to the spike. You do not want to be saving.
Wolves have done pretty good to turn this one around. That eco round, that eco push over towards like mid from FPX has completely wrecked him.
I want to talk about the fact that Wolves, they have had a comeback here. To be able to get this to this point, I mean, some amazing shots have definitely done it, some amazing predictions as well.
What's the chance of a Yoru ISO? No one's going to be playing ISO on Corode.
So much. They've been able to react quicker.
You're not going to make use of your wall. Of your shield, sorry.
Mid fully.
Well, actually, nah, I don't think so. I'd be interested to see if a team wanted to cook with it.
Well, you know, in that time
but I just don't think it's a thing. The only thing that actually might be good is like the actual wall to get through places. That might be something that teams try.
This is relatively new. They've only done this in their scrappy mid fights on ecos. So this is a new thing that Wolves pull out on a buy.
Yeah, the more I think about it, honestly, I think he could make something work with ISO.
Messes with the rotations that little bit. You can see at the top of mid, Autumn.
But I think there's probably better choices.
Against a smoke.
And it's more like your shield that moves than the actual shield that you put on you.
That's what I wanted to bring that up as well. Maybe Wolves are starting to realize that they are going against that double operator setup as well. They are confident that the smokes are going to create.
Yeah, this was nice though. The bait with the rifle here as well. That was cool.
Operator, the timing could not be any perfect as both Autumn and Life find one. Both actually corpses on tiles. Aya finding that last remaining.
Still though, I think Wolves are pretty good at the end here to kind of get this one closer.
Perfect timing on the Yuika, and unless Soifat PB can work an absolute ministry of magic, that will be 7-5 FPX's half.
Yeah, beautiful work from FPX just to sustain their lead on that
no him. Thank you so much for the 14 months. Appreciate the prime usage. Thank you for doing that.
To match them in score. And this double op, it's a very expensive strategy. They managed to get it out in 2 separate rounds here. That's impressive, and we saw why it works. Because we're running double duelist on both of these teams, you don't have enough information gathering tools. You don't have prowlers. You only have 1 drone and 1 dart every 40 seconds to be able to get around these corners. If you don't have, you know, KO, if you don't have anything like a fade with prowlers, you can really struggle against these ops. And that's probably why they pulled them out, and that's why it worked. But don't forget, when it flips around,
like Outlaws ads, it's got a lot better than it was.
Same thing to FPX.
They can indeed, and one thing that you want to very quickly, mention, we are just going to jump to the crowd, so we'll let them kind of talk away themselves, but just as we do, very quickly, 5-7 when Wolves picked, they can still be confident with it.
我觉得是第9小局的时候，小川选手的操作令我印象非常深刻，就是当时是狼队的一个存前分，但是小川起了一把正义，就是一个接了2个人，然后最后1v1的残局的时候，又就是在烟里躲了。
But it's only Sunset. Sunset was FPX pick.
Corrode, yeah, the next map.
With losing this
Good to see the enemy teams. Now you only see your own team.
They don't want to risk going to buy. But their mind is going to be on.
Voices, yeah, there's a lot of voices.
They're going to be focused on how can we win out on Corrode, how can we win that map, rather than looking specifically for Sunset. But their Sunset looks very good, and double duelist on defense. You've got the quick rotates. It can still work very well. The Raze, you're going to be looking at primarily with those floods to knock FPX out of their post-plant positions, as opposed to the Jet, who's going to want to try and get in there a little bit quicker, like FPX were doing.
Yeah, exactly. Very quickly, so just in terms of what was
okay,
chatted
might be a
about,
must-win pistol for Wolves, we'll check it out.
And Spring's Sheriff comes to mind immediately, and to be honest, yeah, the Flowers bloom, and thus, so
yeah, considering it was
Wolves
this, I think like Wolves would be pretty happy with getting the last 3 out of 4.
You've got now,
Yuri has TP, wants to go aggro over towards middle. Recon doesn't get shot, so they can set the 1 up.
Harder for Wolves to run on the defense. Meanwhile, Yosemite showing how
reaction to lose mid is to take B main. Jesus, that flash completely owned him.
And this is why
it's weird though.
I was saying that Wolves maybe don't mind as much that now they go onto the defense half. Ego, you did say, you know, it might be their weaker half, and that is absolutely the case. But again, Sunset.
The camera's not going to check sight, I don't think. Okay, the camera's going to see him over towards market, so they get info.
And then so quickly, whether it is just a small adaptation, whether it is a
complete, so FPX might feel comfy just holding this.
Your script that you either, you know, go towards mid or you.
Yeah, I think they have enough map control. I think it's okay. It's a weird situation, but they have enough map control.
Now we've got that plant down. It's actually all the way towards Boba, and the sides have immediately flipped yet again.
Yeah, they have.
He just spammed straight through smoke.
Take control of the site.
I don't know if that was anything. Like I think he just shot the recon he did off the sounds.
Looked like he was watching for anyone lurking, but Berlin shutting down Juicy, and now the retake is going to be so difficult to get working.
This was pretty nice from FPX. They felt like very comfy here, and they handled it well. As soon as they got the kill over towards B main, it made things a little bit easier.
Farm us that hard. That is, it's a pistol round, and it is definitely important.
Augusto in the YouTube chat, thank you so much. Thank you. No, I don't think I can watch that one, dude.
But yeah, we've seen this initial.
I might be able to watch some of the VODs
though. While that was happening, FPX getting control of the rest of the map, getting control of how they want to run this.
Yeah, 2G will look different with spikes as well.
Through the top, you know, close to that defender spawn. The spike is even planted for Boba.
It's a double pistol.
And FPX don't seem to even still really care. They've got that control, they've got that angle, and they worked off of it flawlessly. And now the util spam towards A. We have seen this time and time again. It's just Autumn trying to dance around it. He's got himself the Marshal to try and find anything, but the timing from Spring, now it's the Wolves who smell blood.
Yeah, and it's a great first pick. You know, the jump peaks coming out there from Yuiko just to distract, allow Spring to swing out with that classic, get that pick. They're not wanting to push for the Marshal correct decision. You don't want to overpeak. You've gotten that advantage. And now you want to explore the map a little bit more, find out what's going on in mid, see if anyone's going towards A, because if not, you know they're heading over towards
Home and flash over towards A, 4-person push towards middle. They still have the camera at one point that can get them early info or info for the retake.
Quickly, the FPX cannot expect this.
They pick. Dude, this is interesting. They go to the site where there's no trip behind. I know they have no guns, but it's actually looking alright. Just depends if they can like get anyone from B main without them considering it.
They are fighting tooth and nail to still play on defender's side, which to be fair, they did a solid showing of it. So FPX maybe actually just playing to their strengths phenomenally so, and they've already seemingly kind of got this read that it is that flank. Lysor finds one. FPX Life is trying his best to hold down that market. It is shot. The shutters are down, and Yosemite meanwhile on site, picking up 2. Nearly, there we go, gets his 3rd. Can't quite pick up the 4th just
Guardian looks so uncomfy like in the closer range than people like go.
He's trying to chase after it, but there is still
he's going for headshots though
to worry about just at the moment in life, rotating around, making sure Fat BB can't even die to it. If you're gonna die, it's to that barrel of life.
Yeah,
surely you could look to right them.
I love the idea there from Wolves on their defense to do that proactivity over towards mid, but you've only got classics. There's only so much you can do. But at the end of the day, getting 2 picks there as Wolves with only classics, nothing else purchased, you're pretty happy with it. At the end of the day, it works out well enough. Cleaning it up, Life, you know he's a safe pair of hands. And now coming into this round, Wolves, they're going to get their buy. And because they killed 2 members of FPX, one of them only had a Marshal, but we are going to see the Guardian and that
it's the classic big buy rounds.
Of a weaker buy. So now Autumn, he got taken down here before. Can he survive yet?
Oh, that's nice, dude.
Heading over towards
aggro, see that they're fighting over towards here, so they now know that the Cypher's most likely towards B.
It's not quite as quick as FPX would read it. I think all of them would be on the attacker side by now. The flash comes through, the same strat from Lysor and Juicy. Still good for one. The Yoru's trade out the Silva drone as well underneath the Cypher cage. Wolves need to be faster on this. They really do. You've still only got 2 members trying their best to fight their way through it. Lysor's going to fall because of it. So
this map's done. This map's done with this one. I like this from FPX though. Fast A fight with the Yoru into the TP, join the team, back over towards B.
Respecting it just quite a bit much.
Yeah, Wolves are not playing.
The server, I mean, the server just had to go for hero play. Like the round has pretty much been lost before then anyway.
You don't want to risk losing this gun at this point. You know you can't win the round, so save the gun, take it into the next round.
I like this round from FPX though. This is nice.
But the main thing to do better, you called it out in the moment. It's these rotations. Wolves, they cleared A main.
Are they all gonna stand up again and give it?
They used 3 people. They used a paranoia and 3 bodies to clear it, which meant that they could not rotate over towards B quick enough. They left 1 person lurking there, which meant when they retake came on in, they were going in 1 by 1. There was no trades. They weren't acting cohesive as that team. And that's what we saw FPX doing incredibly. So now FPX up to double digits. And Wolves are going to be on a very low buy.
FPX on the defense
Good
side.
use of the Yoru? Yeah, this was great.
They seem so willing to fight the retake.
It's like it's incredibly simple, but again, on a bonus round, something like this is so nice.
They appreciated that, okay, it maybe puts them at a slight disadvantage, but they respect that it doesn't in any way end the game or end the round. Wolves now...
This is a good sign, though. Again, we said that the FPX team looks pretty nice.
That is something that maybe can be
clarified. And I know they won double pistol here, but...
A big mountain to climb, but
if they can actually look good enough to go on a run and steal a top 2, that would be pretty cool.
Capacity to just come out swinging.
Or if they have a incredibly good run here, they can still make it through champs points.
Seeming so confident. Even the chatter from FPX doesn't seem that serious right now. FPX, just do more of what you guys are doing, because it's absolutely working.
I mean, this is essentially a start of 4th round, end of 3rd round timeout, right? It's so early. There's not a lot that FPX can really do. What they're probably going to be looking for is calling out what Wolves will improve on here, and it's probably going to be those rotations. They would have noticed that the retake was coming in 1 by 1. They were filtering down and getting taken down at the same time. So just be aware.
This core used to be EDG. I mean, for sure. That's why they're giving it so much to Lysor, right? Because he used to be on this team.
Taking that aggression, especially against
it's pretty funny.
Teams,
I think that's why they like targeting him with the celebration.
2 rifles, 2 sheriffs, and a classic down there on Juicy.
When is champs?
Not had the best game of it so far, and this classic is not.
When is it these days? September, mid-September, right?
Yoru not seen a lot. Maybe we're starting to see why.
I mean, again, highest skill ceiling by far. The flashes can get turned. The teleport isn't exactly the most consistent in terms of just capacity. Sometimes people just do have the flicks. That you have to decide
this setup
whether
worries
it's fake,
me,
whether
but
it's real.
It's a Seeker.
There's a lot to it. You've got the thing, but actually, speaking of, do you want to?
They might be able to get a rotate down.
Yeah.
What guns do they have in middle? They could maybe double swing this with 2. It's risky, but it's eco.
Or even
it starts on 12. Okay.
Yeah, and it's these little micro things for Wolves that, it's finally coming out. It's looking like it might be a lineup to go into market there, but it's still just that little bit late. The TP should come on through. There we go. He's able to be a part of this flood. But now you've still got Superfat BB all the way over on A by himself.
And at the moment, he's certainly
they
saying
still have
they
still have okay numbers here. It's just
but meanwhile,
they
it's
just don't
being
have
radioed
guns.
in that there is an absolute war for this B site, and finally FPX actually. What I like to see, this is the first time they've planted default, which you would, it's default. You would think it's been
interesting as well. If like Wolves had left the raise here and had the Sova over towards here, it might have been a bit different.
Haven't given them that space to do so, but it doesn't even really seem like they mind. They know they've got the stronger buy. They know they've got the positioning, and even a risky teleport their life.
He's telling Wolves
his
to
body
stand up.
gets towards that BB and absolutely safe and sound. And yeah, juicy on the Yoru. I think
after an
that's
eco win
really
as well, they're
it's
actually
not,
giving
of course,
it.
a one-man show. There are other developments, but again, that is why Yoru has, I would say, by far the highest skill ceiling in the game. Where you use the gate crashes, where it ends up.
Okay, let's see if it changes anything here. They managed to get the op out.
Piece of utility, and it's
pretty much the only change.
Dependent on use, the strongest piece of utility.
Absolutely, but now he's got the operator in hand. He has pied, but we're going to ignore that because the op is now in his hands, and maybe he can do.
Okay, same thing for Wolves. Try set one up over towards here.
Nothing found over towards.
They're going to set the Yoru up, just because he has the op.
Has been taken by FPX already. We're seeing Wolves leave.
No way.
This knife is out. He
We
does swing,
creep
but
through middle on the
ready,
big buy
waiting.
rounds. God, they just have too many rounds. They're just fearless.
Get the eventual trade, but now we're just looking at FPX.
Saw his gun barrel.
They're now a little bit stuck here, and they're just going to take some time, relax, work out what weakness they might be able to exploit next, because mid is still a question mark for Wolves. They don't know what's happening there.
They really don't. I would like to actually see as well, depending on how. We'll wait to see how the rest of this plays out, and then depending on it, Juicy's got the swing.
Miss,
the op shot is unfortunately.
Yeah, and they now know there's one holding over towards
barely stays alive. Of course, Yoru does have a new haircut now on the side.
Dude, that was the person you saw on the left.
But it's still
oh boy, this is gonna get weird for Juicy.
And kicking it, you can make plenty of things work. The spray comes through. It's a teeny bit of damage, but nothing major. It does give Juicy a bit more information, but this op has to be cocked every time the bullets fly. So in theory, he's only good for one, and then he's going to have to leave. The collat is nearly there. Dimensional drift will at the very least allow him to get out safe and sound.
Also 3.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Just get you out over towards Zelda.
Sorry, spots.
And you know exactly where everyone else is.
Spots 2.
The operator now, not the best gun on the retake, but Ayang with the just late lurk and bull in aggressive. This is the combination from FPX that is so difficult to beat. And now Juicy and Spring left
Did he do what?
alone.
Did he do what?
Juicy gonna look
did
for
he
something,
do what I did?
No
Encountered the Yoru
clone.
clone.
At this point, it's probably a save as FPX are going to manage to get 12.
At least he gets a consolation prize, but 300 credits for a kill versus 4,700 lost for the op droppings. The smoke comes down from Spring.
They're completely unaware of the FUD. I think he counted the Yoru clone and said they were all here.
The steps from Berlin trying to prevent it, and the swing comes through. He's good for
dude,
one,
I reckon that's what happened,
himself,
man.
Aya, who refuses
It looked like they were so confident that everyone was here.
He understands the spike is taking him. He may as well drop the guns beforehand, and now Wolves 7 rounds back to back, and that's just to get you to overtime.
Yeah, a lot of chances.
Upset 3A, yeah, I think so.
It was their pick. You know,
yeah, dude,
they were going
knife
wanting
out.
to play it, wanting to play around.
I for sure think that's what happened.
And they've got an idea of how they want to play both the defense and the attacking side. And now Wolves, the money is going to be in the bin. It's not looking good. They've got a couple of rifles, but some of it's Guardian. Knives come out immediately. Aggression from both sides.
Wait, this was kind of nice. Whoa, this was nice over towards site.
This is not good for Wolves.
They did early updraft dash to make sure you can get on top of here, then float around with knives. It's cool. It's cool strat for this knife round.
Just vibing in that back line. Lysor able to pick up one with the Guardian, but now they have the information.
Oh, they really wrecked them here. It was double pistol into Snowball, but they also had some nice stuff. Do that. It'd be cool to see FPX let it back as well. Make a run for it.
The positioning, the aggression, the defense.
Okay, chat, we got Corrode coming up. That's the big one.
They did absolute